This paperwork, this document, I never signed this document.
I didn't ask you about that.
Oh,
I asked you whether you transferred that document to John.
Never.
You say that you were there.
Yes.
You actually saw the plaintiff transfer it to John, and John immediately gave it to you.
Yes.
How important is it for you to have this RV?
Well, I feel that it belonged to us, which is...
Did you intend to live in the RV?
No, no. We were going to use it to work out of during the Christmas season.
For what purpose?
They're selling Christmas trees,
Selling
going from lots around.
Would you come here today, and I understand that he passed away a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, suddenly.
Would you come here and lie, essentially, as to what he may have done?
I don't have time for this right now. I have to take care of everything for him. I wouldn't come here if I had a choice.
Thank you very much. I have nothing further.
Well, I want to get into who the witnesses are. Who is your witness today, Ms. Dillon?
My witness, John Norris, was with me during the whole duration of the time from when they broke into the RV and the police came and escorted them out, as well as the following 2 days after which, where they came back and were trying to break into the RV again. He witnessed the police coming out when the sergeant took the keys from my hand and gave them to Bobbie.
Okay, you want to stand up, sir? Tell us your name.
Yeah. John Norris?
John Norris?
Yes.
Why were the cops called?
They were breaking into her motorhome, trying to.
Okay.
Second time, they actually succeeded in breaking in. And one thing is that when the supervisor came out after the two officers there and had her release the keys over to him, is because they started the paperwork at the DMV, and the cops were going by what the DMV was stating, that it was their motorhome. But actually, she never signed any paperwork over to him.
Okay.
They started a title transfer with a forged document.
You're saying it's forged?
This is forged. I did not sign this paperwork.
You're saying it's forged?
This is forged. I did not sign this paperwork.
Are we able to compare now?
I have looked at it. It certainly is not the traditional signature of the plaintiff, because we've seen her signature on at least 3 documents that I have, and they all look pretty similar and different from the one we have on this document.
Okay. You're saying you never signed it.
Correct.
And Ms. Bertram, you're saying you saw her sign it.
I didn't see her sign it. I saw her hand it over.
Okay, so you didn't see her sign it.
And she was going back in the house to get the rest of the paperwork, and she never came back. And then she called the police.
And who's your witness?
Jorge Bustamante.
Jorge. How are you related to this case?
I got called to help her bring some stuff to the RV. So I transported maybe 2 loads of stuff.
Okay.
Like a printer and, just like clothes and just things like that.
Okay.
Everything was fine. And then the next day I find out that she was escorted out of the RV because she was breaking and entering or trying to break in, even though everything was cool. She wasn't even, I didn't even see her there outside at the time when I was helping them move stuff into the RV.
Where were you at the time?
I could have been out at my horse ranch.
And the RV was parked
in front of my apartment.
Yeah.
In front of your apartment, okay. And how were you alerted that they were on the property trying to get inside the RV?
Because when I parked my RV in front of my place, I always had my windows open because it's illegal to sleep in there overnight. And when I got back that evening, the blinds were down. So I knew somebody was in there. So I called the police to have whoever was in there escorted out.
How did you get in the RV?
I had a key.
How does she have a key?
I don't know how she had a key. He had given it to John.
Why'd you give it to John?
I was letting John use the RV during the day for business.
Not because he was the owner.
He was not the owner.
And your understanding of him having a key was what?
We were going to become the owners, and we already had this one document with the squiggle, and we were waiting for her to give us the rest of the documentation to go to DMV. When she didn't produce it and had me escorted out in the middle of the night on my birthday, with pneumonia, I might add, I went ahead and went to DMV with what I had, and they accepted it.
Where did you go from there?
Then I went back the next morning with the police escort to claim the RV.
Where is it now?
I don't know where it is now. She said it was
in
my possession, and it's now an impound.
Why?
Somebody took it for a joyride and left it parked somewhere it shouldn't have been parked.
Somebody took it for a joyride?
I don't know. By the time I knew that it was missing and I went to file a police report, they didn't want to do a police report for a stolen vehicle because it was already an impound. I don't know how many days it was missing before I found out, because it was stored.